Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Johnson and I am the founder of a content marketing agency that scaled to multi-six figures starting its first year, and love to share with others how they can also create more freedom and fulfillment as their own boss through copywriting, which is a business that you can do from anywhere on your own schedule, that you can bring in $50 to $100 an hour. And when I was back in corporate, I had no idea this was even possible. I even was in writing and content marketing and strategy in corporate, and I still didn't think about freelance writing as a way to go and be my own boss or work from home. So today I want to break down a few ideas for work from home jobs and some pros and cons for each, because if you're anything like me, back when I was in my 9-to-5, like maybe you are just really craving something that you can do from home. And not like home, like working remotely where you still have meetings all day and where you're still tied to a work schedule and you basically are just sitting at home all day eating lunch at your desk as if you would in an office, but where you have true freedom to design your days however you want and to work from anywhere in any time zone and not ask permission to go travel or go to an appointment even. And where you can really be your own boss and all that comes with that. So that is what I want to share with you. I wish someone would have shared this with me, so hoping I can save you a little time and frustration and heartache along the way, all right? Now, there are a few options for work from home jobs out there. So I'm going to share a few of those first and kind of what I think about each one. Obviously, if you are rocking one of these, do your thing. I'm not throwing any shade, just sharing my experience and kind of walking you through my own thought process of like why I did or did not pursue certain paths, or even some that I'm going to share with you that I did actually try and they were troublesome, and so I want to prevent you from that as well. All right, so the first one that's very, very common is network marketing, aka MLMs. Network marketing is where you sell product on behalf of a larger company. So there's a ton of MLMs when it comes to supplements, when it comes to fitness, health, Beachbody is a popular one, Advocare. Gosh, there's so many these days. So all you have to do is Google them and you have probably been pitched one of these products in your lifetime. But basically you sign up to get a percentage of, for every product you sell, for every person you bring underneath you to sell more products. That is kind of the system of network marketing. Now, here's the thing. You can do network marketing from home, but there were a few reasons why I steered clear of it. Number one, it has a little bit of a trickier reputation. So if you've heard of pyramid schemes or things like that, a lot of network marketing companies are accused of that. And that's not a reason really like not to do something based on what other people think, but there is a little bit of suspicion around that industry. And I don't know, I just personally wanted to build something of my own to rep products or services that I really believed in and not be like selling it for this big organization where the goal was to just get more and more people selling underneath me and more people selling under them and that whole thing. The other part of that is that in order to get those people underneath you and sell those products, you kind of have to become super good at cold pitching people in DMs, like on Instagram, reaching out to someone, starting a conversation, and then selling them on a product. And for me, I am not someone that like ever wanted to rely on social media. I like taking breaks from it. I like not having to know that that's where I get my clients because things are changing all the time with the algorithms. And I'm just not someone that is a natural born like live streamer of my life. I just kind of like to share what inspires me on social media, but I don't want to go and actually make my livelihood relying on it. And so for me, I just got a little cringy when I thought about like constantly DMing new people, constantly finding more people. I knew I had some friends and family that would support me, but I wasn't even sure they would come work underneath me. And so I didn't really see my network marketing career taking off. I thought I could probably sell a few products, and then after that, I would be really stretching to find people, friends, family to buy, and I just didn't want that awkwardness. So That was another thing that steered me clear of network marketing as a work from home job. Another thing about it is you do have to buy a certain amount of product up front. And so, that would have been fine if I wholly believed in one of the products or really felt like I could make an impact in some way. But I just figured I would keep exploring because I imagined there were other options out there where there weren't a ton of startup costs involved and where I didn't have to buy tons of products that I would then have to go find a way to offhand and sell. So I kept looking. Another thing that I considered, and I actually did this for a few years, was coaching. So I was so passionate about nutrition for, one area in my life. I'm still passionate about it, but I just, I don't necessarily want to coach on it. It's just something I like to cook. I like to be healthy. That's my, hobby more than anything. But when I was thinking about how to transition out of corporate, I had just gotten certified in nutrition and holistic health. And so I thought, it makes sense to be a health coach. That was the only thing I could really see in the nutrition realm that made sense. And so I went and I did. I actually left corporate and I became a health coach. And I absolutely loved the client relationships that I made in that time. But what I quickly found is that it takes a lot of time and money to get really off the ground with a coaching business. And that is fine if it is your life's passion and that's what you want to do. But for me, it was this ironic dance of the more successful I got with the coaching calls, it felt like I was back in corporate America with more meetings than I even had before. It was just call after call. I felt like I couldn't even really travel because it would mess up my time zones with calls. And I didn't like that feeling. I really felt like I was creating freedom and trying to intentionally. And as much as I love the relationships, I just wondered if there was another way to do it. I'm going to circle back to that after this one next work from home position I tell you. I did find a way, but one other option. So far we have MLMs, we have coaching, we have the next one I'm going to tell you, and that is virtual assistants. So with virtual assistants, you can do tasks for other business owners, sending commenting on other people's Instagram posts to increase engagement. You can post social media for them. You can, take a YouTube and put it on a website. Things like that are very task oriented. And, being a VA would have been another great option, but it does start at a bit lower rates. So, with a VA, you can get anywhere from maybe $15 to $35 an hour. And for me, I found another option that would let me start at 50 and scale to 100 or beyond. And so for me, it was kind of a matter of if I'm going to be working and spending my time, I want to make as much as possible for that time, right? Who wouldn't? And I also wanted kind of to feel like I was the business owner and boss of whatever I was creating. So even though, VAs own their own business, I had just come from the corporate world where I had spent so much time doing tasks for someone else, regardless of whether I enjoyed them or not. It was just this is the job, and that I really wanted to feel like I could be in charge of what tasks I worked on or not each day. And so that's why I kept looking with the VA side. And so what I found my way to, this might not be a surprise if you know anything about my story, but I eventually found my way to copywriting. And the reason this is so amazing, having tried coaching, is that instead of doing client calls all day, I transitioned to the days that I really loved, which was being heads down working on creative projects. And so I took all of that passion for a particular industry like health and I transferred it into copywriting. And instead of coaching, I got to write about it. And you could do the same for whatever industry you have expertise in, whatever you're passionate about, you could become a writer in that industry. A few of the amazing things about copywriting compared to these other models above that I've just mentioned, copywriting has so little startup costs. Chances are you already have a laptop or computer and that's why you're watching this. So if you already have that, you don't have costs to get started. You can basically go and get a client and get started bringing in income this week. As soon as you get that client, you are like golden. Now, it can take a little bit to learn how to write if you don't, but it's learnable by anyone, and I'll drop some resources below if you're just getting started. But it's also something that absolutely anyone can learn, and you don't need this fancy website. You can just put together a few work samples or a portfolio on a PDF. Like, you could make it in PowerPoint. Like, I share templates, when I teach my writers and stuff to make it even easier, but you don't even have to invest in a website if you don't want one. So there's very little startup costs, which means extremely low risk. And it's something that you can do from anywhere, anytime. So as I mentioned with coaching, I felt like I had to be like on the clock, on a calendar all the time. With copywriting, you can write any time of day. You are your own boss, you're in charge of your own schedule. So as long as you get your work in on time, you can absolutely dictate when you work, what kind of projects, etc. And then another amazing thing is you can do it anywhere, anytime. So you really, with coaching, how I felt like I had to be on one kind of schedule. And once my calls were locked in, that was it. And if I traveled, it would mess up the whole thing. So I really couldn't move around too much. With copywriting, you can do it any time of day. So you can do it when your kiddos nap. You can do it at night once everyone's gone to bed. You could do it in the morning for a few hours before people wake up. You can do it on a commute on a train. There's so much flexibility in terms of when you get your work done, as long as it's done by the deadlines, that it's a really freeing option for anyone who is really trying to create that freedom as their own boss. Another thing that I loved about it, especially in regards to more of the network marketing, MLM scene, is that you don't need social media to do it. You can absolutely use social media, and to this day, I use social media a lot to promote my podcasts or the book I'm writing or my other creative projects, or to help educate people on how amazing copywriting is. But I don't really use it to go and get clients, and I certainly don't rely on it. There's so many other ways that are more direct to make those relationships and start working with clients. So if you're someone who doesn't want to promote on social media a lot, who doesn't want to say that they're accepting writing clients on LinkedIn, and you just want to get started and get heads down and get to work and start income coming in, then it's going to be an amazing business for you as well. And then, as I mentioned, I think the highest wages with copywriting of any of the other things that I checked out. So with copywriting, you can earn between $50 to $100 an hour, which is way more than you can earn trying to sell piecemeal products or getting percentages of them here and there with network marketing. It's far above the rate for virtual assistants. And then as a coach, once you factor in all the amount of time spent getting clients, doing discovery calls, following up, it's really a lot more than that, in the sense that you get paid for every single hour and minute that you spend writing. So every email you send, every call you do with a client, every time you go and write or research, that is billable time. So I loved that dynamic about it with work from home jobs, that you could, anytime you sat down at your desk, you were earning money. And so if you were taking time, from your family or from your life, then you were earning for it. And I just thought that was a really nice, fair value exchange, and something that I loved about copywriting as well. And then the other piece that's amazing is you can get started right away. So you don't have to spend years building this online following. You don't have to go buy a vacation rental or furnish it. You don't have to go and become sign up for meetings with some kind of network marketing company. You can really get started today. You just get your writing samples together, and then you can go and find clients. So those are some of the pros and cons that I worked through when it came to finding a work from home job that I loved and still love. And if you are curious about anything else, feel free to drop a comment below. Again, no shade to any of these. I mean, anyone who goes out there and chases their dream in any form, whatever part of their journey they're at, I have the utmost respect and admiration for. And people have a way of finding their way to the right thing. Even how I did coaching for years, and that worked for me then. And then I found copywriting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can write about the industries I love. This is amazing. Every part of your journey will add up and lead you to the right thing. And so I'm just a firm believer in that as well. So I hope this is helpful. I will drop some free resources below if you would like to learn more about copywriting, whether as a free training or starter kit. And if you have any questions, drop a comment, DM me. I'm happy to chat with you and help point you in the right direction. And thank you for being here. Let me know what other videos you'd like. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back soon.